Our fourth quarter was damn dominant, and obviously we had two corners go down in that game, and ended up coming back from a 10-point deficit when we needed it the most. And our defense stood on their head in the fourth quarter there. The rest of the game, there's some things we can clean up, and a lot of that is dead to rights play. I mean, we have a guy wrapped up or a guy looking like he's seemingly out of the play, and he makes something happen, which that running back is very good at doing. So. When I look at it in totality, and I think there was a lot of positives that came out of the game for our defense, but there's also some things to clean up. And that's not, much difference than the beginning of the year for everybody. And we're a three-phase football team, so, we can all be a bit better. When I look at that game, I think we did a lot of the hard stuff, made it look easy, and a lot of the easy stuff made it look hard. And that's kind of been what we've been doing through the first three games. All three phases. So if we can start, being a little bit more consistent all three phases, I think we're going to be right where we want to be.
I just asked questions to get you going.
Well, there you did. You just got me going.
Well,
so hopefully I answered all your questions.
Doesn't take much. Oh, no, you haven't answered them all yet. How about the third quarter? How can you explain what's happening in the third quarter?
I mean...
What are your guys doing at halftime?
What are our guys doing at halftime? I mean... I guess I'm not as up to speed with you in the third quarter. I look at the whole thing, and obviously there's going to be lulls in games. You don't ever want them, but there seems to be in every game, where you're not going to execute perfectly every quarter, every play. Now that's not from the lack of want to. And I mean, alignment assignment technique is what all of we need to do on every single play, and it takes a lapse here, a lapse there, and things don't go our way. At times I like to give the other teams credit, for their adjustments or what they're doing, maybe better than what we are. I know in the fourth quarter we figured it out. I know when we've needed to the most, we figured things out. And we play to the end, and our guys are competitive throughout the game. So, one quarter, not going our way, and maybe it is through three games, that's something, obviously adjustments-wise we can look at. But I look at the totality of three games, and we've been right in there in every single one of them. And again, playing our best when it matters the most.
How serious are Ento and Lorenzo Burns?
Well, I mean, they're not out here.
Yes, correct.
But they're in treatment. That's all I'll say about it.
And, I had to ask you.
Yeah. I don't necessarily need to give you the answer you're
no,
looking
you
for.
Don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. You were remarkably composed, it looked like, on TV in overtime when Rankin fumbled, and I do believe that Beauchemin was the last guy to touch the ball.
Yeah, from my vantage point, and what I always will say about things that happen on the field, if I see it very clearly, you'll see my reaction, and I'll go to my grave believing is what I saw. Well, from my perspective, I couldn't tell. I was behind the ball. I wasn't where the referee, who was right there, made the call. So you got to go with that. I mean, had I had his perspective, I probably would have had a whole different, reaction to it. But my perspective was on the opposite side, where there were a lot of people in the way. And, I know we were close to it. I just didn't see a clear thing. But when I look at the film, I mean, what I would judge it off of, I would say it was our ball. But that's not what they ruled.
Yeah.
And, that's unfortunate, because no matter what happened in that game, the game's over at that point. And, you got to go with the referee's ruling and the replay officials' ruling, and then live with it. I mean, that's it. And we had a chance after that to get a stop. We didn't. They made a play at the end and, won the ball game. But, you would have seen a different reaction had I seen it. And that's why, if you ever see me throw my challenge flag and I'm the one looking at it, I don't ask upstairs. I throw it with conviction because I see what I see. But if I don't see what I see, I'm just going to act like anybody. I mean, I don't know.
Could you have challenged that play or not?
I could have, but it was a turnover. Well, I think they were going to review it anyways, because it's in the situation that it was. The other one, I believe, I don't know if it was the catch on the sidelines. There was a couple of them that I would have, if I had a challenge at that time, I would have challenged.
Yeah, you mentioned, Herb just mentioned Beauchemin's name. I mean, he was all over the field. The center of 2 turnovers, 2 takeaways. What can you tell us about the performance that he had?
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, he had 5 tackles. He had a great special teams tackle as well. he was opportunistic. Even the ball that goes up and Burns challenges the receiver with it, the ball is up in the air, and you don't make those plays if you're not hustling for the ball. Even the one Burns knocks it out, if you're not hustling behind the play, you're not knocking that one out. So, Najee puts his hat right on the ball with Rankin in overtime. He's right there, Johnny on the spot again. So that tells you something about the movement back there and his ability to get to balls. And he made a couple other really nice plays in that game too, tracking receivers and stepping in the hole and making some really big tackles. So he's done a very good job for us through the first 3 games.
How does the bench get an objectionable conduct penalty?
It's pretty simple. When you are on the white line and you walk in front of referees during the play, you're going to get the call. That's it. And that's what we've done
twice this season.
Exactly, and it won't be a third. That's our belief. We're going to do our damnedest not to let that happen again. We are aware of it, and we know it's an issue. It's something that they changed this year where they absolutely want nobody on that white, and that's not something that's customary. It's when you've been on the sidelines for as long as some of us have been, for that to be that drastically different is a change. But there's no excuse. We won't do it again, and if we do it, there will be a much bigger penalty than the one that just got put on us. But it'll be cleaned up.
Yeah.
Do you think?
As far are you, if you are about the D-line performance, and I'm talking about generating pressure on the quarterback, because it seems like if you guys end up blitzing, the guys are winning the one-on-one battles to get to the quarterback.
Well, we look at everything. At the end of the day, it's whether we are a pressure defense. We're going to get a lot of pressures by creating them. That's how our defense has been built. When you send 3-man pressures, you're generally not going to get as much pressure, but you like to think that the guys in the secondary, the other 9 guys, are doing their jobs to get you off the field. Do we want to win more one-on-one battles? Sure. But I'm not concerned about it one bit. Our guys work every day towards it. There's things that we could all get better at, like I've spoke on, and we will get better at those types of things.
Do you think the officials might do a better job if you block their view more often?
No comment.
Just one about the things you got to clean up. You feel the team has been tackling well enough?
Yeah, that's one thing Noel did talk about even before this game. I was in the meeting when we were talking about missed tackles. We have too many. That is something we've, not to say it's a concern, but it's something that we need to be aware of and something we need to really focus on. But you want to make every single tackle. You miss one tackle, you're pissed off. So, with Noel pointing that out in the meetings, I know our guys are aware of it, and I know our guys are concentrating on it. I will give Rankin credit. That guy can create some missed tackles on his own. So our pursuit angles and the way we attack things from the backside need to be sharp. And I think we learned a good lesson in this game, and I think we'll correct those things going forward so that those types of things don't happen.
What was the lesson you learned?
I just said just pursuit angles.
Non, je pense que c'est ça qui nous a coûté le match à la fin de la journée. Au début, je pense que dans la première demi, on l'a vraiment bien contenu. Cependant, durant la deuxième demi, je pense qu'on a manqué les plaqués. Mais à chaque fois, on était en position de faire les jeux dans le backfield. Donc, je vois pas ça trop gros. On a eu la chance de gagner le match si on avait fait ces plaqués-là. Donc, c'est juste de continuer à travailler, de regarder vers l'avant.
De perdre les 2 demi-points partant dans le même match. Quel point, je sais que Coach Maas parle toujours du hangar puis du plug and play, la mentalité plug and play, mais à quel point ça met quand même une certaine pression sur la défense?
Ça met une pression, c'est sûr, mais je pense que ça a montré l'ADN de notre défensive. On a perdu nos 2 corners au 4e quart, puis on avait besoin de des stops, puis on les a fait à chaque fois. Donc, peu importe qui est sur le terrain, on joue avec un certain standard, puis c'est le fun de voir que les gars l'ont respecté.
Tu as parlé du fait que vous étiez dans le champ arrière, prêt à faire des jeux, mais la pression en général, est-ce que vous êtes satisfait? C'est à la grandeur de la Ligue, il n'y a pas de sac cette année. On explique ça comment? Puis êtes-vous satisfait de la pression que vous êtes capable de mettre à l'arrière?
Présentement, je pense que c'est quelque chose qu'il faut travailler. Il faut mettre plus de pression sur les corps arrière, mais tu le vois au travers de la Ligue, les attaques font de plus en plus de passes rapides, RPO, ce qui nous empêche vraiment de se rendre au quarterback. Mais vraiment, c'est quelque chose qu'il faut faire, qu'il faut changer, parce qu'on sait des sacs, ça peut vraiment impacter le match.
The reality is that these next guys up can play it and can make it happen. So really the focus is, again, just on us as a whole on defense. There's situations that we should have never been in if our tackling was just on point, which is in my belief, just an easy fix. It's really just like Coach said at the beginning of the week, it's standards over stats, and that's part of the reason why I think I had such a great game was I wasn't worried about performance. It was just about my attitude, effort, and physicality, and so that's gonna be the focus.
How much the fact that you're playing, in front of friends and family, in the province of Alberta, did that, motivated you, to get the type of game that you had this past Saturday?
Like I said, like Noah, my dad and brother came out to that game, but I know that I always have people watching me from home, and so that really never changes my attitude towards the game. It's always about myself and our team. The main focus that I had going into that game was just being physical. And the effort and doing my job as well as I can, because in the Toronto game I felt that I took myself out of plays that were mine to make because I was overthinking it, trying to do too much, trying to do other people's jobs. So I really just took a step back to gain that extra 2 steps forward.
Coach mentioned you were Johnny on the spot there a couple of times. Just like, how do you? I know that's how you played, University of Calgary as well. But just how do you explain you're always in the right place?
It's just hustle, like both of my turnovers were nothing special on my part. I'm not going to try and claim that they were something they weren't. Both times Zoe made the play. Like he forced the fumble and he popped the ball up. So I was just there hustling to the ball, and that's what coach always preaches. And Johnny on the spot's the only way to put it.
What is it about the Calgary program that every guy that seems to come out of there is a stud?
There's a lot to say. I think the caliber of coaches that you have there is very high. I want to say team culture, but I think that's in a funny spot right now. It's when you have losing seasons for so long, it's hurtful. It's harmful to the team, right? But you definitely still have that healthy mix of guys that are just dogs or just competitors. And I think our coaching staff does a really good job of just finding those guys that have that kind of dog mentality in them. And that's, either you have it or you don't, and either it's going to come out or you're going to keep it in. And so, it's about the people that take advantage of the gifts or the blessings that they have.
Did you have Tom Higgins there when you played?
No.
No way? Okay.
I was first year there was 2021.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much has it slowed down for you this year? Like, I know you didn't play the full year last year.
Mm-hmm.
But how much do you feel like?
Big time. Like I was only in the first 3 games. Just it's pretty crazy to me how much improvement has happened in 3 games, and it's mostly in the speed of the game. Like I'm not a small guy. I'm not a absurdly large guy either. But the reality is that I can hang physically with these guys, and it takes a couple hits to get back into the swing of that. But as far as speed of the game goes, it's really just about myself and understanding, what the offenses are trying to do in certain times and being present. I keep writing in my notes. Eyes to the quarterback, but it's not just eyes on the quarterback. You also got to be present in your own mind, thinking through about what's happening and being able to make those decisions really quick.